Hi, my name is Al Johnson, and this is my Tesla case study. So Tesla was founded in 2003. Tesla was founded with the main belief that you don't need to compromise to drive electric. So you can have a cool car, you can have a fast car, it can be electric, it can compete with gas-powered vehicles. Tesla's IPO was June 29th, 2010. The Tesla Roadster, which was their first vehicle, was unveiled in 2008. That's when it went into production, so it came out a few years later. Tesla X, which was their first SUV, that was unveiled in 2015. The vehicles, they are manufactured in Fremont, California, which is just outside of Silicon Valley. And then the founders, Elon Musk and Jeffrey Strobel. So just to take a quick look at their executive team, obviously you have Elon Musk. He is the president and CEO of the company. You also have Jeffrey Strobel. He's the co-founder, but he's also now in a role of a senior advisor with the company. Jerome Guillen, he's the president of the automotive division. And then you have Zach Kirkhorn, who is the chief financial officer of the company. Just a few interesting things about Tesla that I noticed about their board of directors. James Murdoch, he's the owner of Sky News. He's on the board of directors. Larry Ellison, who is the founder of Oracle, he's also on the board of directors. And then Kimball Musk, Elon Musk's brother, he is actually on the board of directors as well, and he has had a lot of success in his own personal life in Silicon Valley. So the mission statement of Tesla, to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And they have really done a great job of this. Everything they do that you notice, everything is very sustainable in what they do. Their vision statement, to create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. Also, very much so that they are very focused on this, and they chase these two statements down. And you'll see that when I go through some of the products that they've created. So Tesla has one core product, and that is their vehicles. So that's their cars, their SUVs, those products. But then they also have two supplementary products. So if you were to go onto their website, you would see that they have roofs and then they have solar panels. So the roofs is actually pretty cool because it's a tile. It's like a solar tile. And then everything goes to a battery backup system. So it charges this battery, and then the battery can be used to power the house. The vehicles are really going to be the focus of this case study when we look at them and then we look at their competitors. Outside of these two, they have many divisions. They have SpaceX, which is their space division, Hyperloop, which is like their underground sort of hypertrain. And then they have a lot of renewable products that would include their chargers, the batteries, and the innovations they have in those fields. Very interesting, very, very innovative. And Elon Musk is a very forward-thinking leader. So Tesla's market, the automobile manufacturing market is really what they're in, the manufacturing industry. Um, when it comes to their share of the overall pie with gas-powered vehicles and electric vehicles, they're pretty small. But when it comes to the electrical vehicle sales, they have 78% of the electrical vehicle market share in the United States. So when it comes to actual electrical vehicles, they are the front runner by far. The 2019 market for electrical vehicles had grown by 63% over the year prior. So there's just a lot of growth in this electrical vehicle market. One interesting thing about Tesla is they control the supply chain from manufacturing all the way to the sale of the vehicle and service. They have their own dealerships, and they also have their own manufacturing. So they control everything, which is unique in the industry. Usually a dealership would be, so if you have a Ford, for example, they would have a dealership that would sell their cars for them. They wouldn't control that portion. And then the other important thing to know is that Tesla is about 17 years old now, but this is a very established market. You're looking at Fords and GMs and Hondas who have been around for close to 100 years, and they have all these assets and systems in place. Tesla was starting from scratch, so they've done a fantastic job. Just some of the information. So I'm going to go into the competitors, but first I wanted to just give you an idea of Tesla. I'll give you the closing stock price for the day, and then like a 52-week range, and then their price to earnings ratio, which I'll go into later. But Tesla ending shares for today, $539.25 per share. The daily range, 52-week range, $176.99 to $968.99. That's the 52-week range, so they've dropped quite a bit from their peak. And then their price to earnings ratio, they actually don't have a price to earnings ratio because theirs is below zero, so they don't report it. Ford, one of Tesla's main competitors, mostly on the gasoline powered side, so not a direct competitor because they're competing for the same customers, but different vehicles. They closed today at $5.39 per share, with a 52-week range of $3.96 to $10.56, and they have a price to earnings ratio of $539. GM closed today at $21.49, 52-week range of $14.33 to $41.90, with a price to earnings ratio of 4.7. And then Honda ended the day at $22.78 per share, with a 52-week range of $19.38 to $29.44, with a price to earnings ratio of 3.93. So now we'll go into the performance ratios, and I'll start with the price to earnings ratio. So the price to earnings ratio essentially represents if a company has a high price to earnings ratio, an investor is almost paying more for it at this point, and they expect it to get up to that point further on. So for example, Ford had a very high price to earnings ratio. If you have a low price to earnings ratio, it's almost the opposite, where the stock's almost undervalued at this point. Tesla is a very low price to earnings ratio. They don't have one. So it tracks, essentially what it does is it tracks stocks value to investors. A current ratio. So any current ratio over 1 is a good sign. That means that they are able to pay back their debts, essentially. And they're at a 1.13 as opposed to an industry average of 1.23. So Tesla's right there. The quick ratio is essentially the same as the current ratio, except it measures how well they can pay back their debts using their liquid assets. And Tesla's at a 0.8 there. Gross margin measures profit per sale. So they have a gross margin of 16.5% as opposed to an industry average of 20.9%. Operating margin measures the profit from operations. So Tesla's at an 18.6 versus an industry average of 19.1. So they close the gap, and that could be because they own the whole distribution chain. They're making more money in different areas of the business. Tesla's income statement, you can take a look through the income statement, but the main thing with their income statement to show is that they are trending in the correct direction. So they're moving in the correct direction. With everything from revenue to profits to operating income, everything is going in the correct direction, and their debts are being paid down. Tesla's cash flow. So just wanted to take a quick look at the free cash flow. Essentially, what Tesla is doing a very good job of is paying back their debts. So doing very heavily repaying their debts, and then they're also increasing their revenue, which is leading to a really good free cash flow. You'll see in 2017, and remember these are numbers in thousands, of negative 4.1 million to 2018 at negative 221,000. To 2019, where they're positive 968,000, and those are in thousands, so 968 million. Tesla stock performance. Tesla, until recently with the coronavirus, has been very consistent with their stocks. And you can see that the more they're such an innovative company that it's continually grown. It's had some slumps, but for the most part, it's consistently gone up over the past 5 years. Tesla's dividend policy. Now, me personally, as an investor, I would like dividends, but I can understand why Tesla would not give dividends, and I'll go into that in a bit here. But so, like I said, they don't pay dividends. According to their website, quote, Tesla has never declared dividends on our common stock. We intend on retaining all future earnings to finance future growth, and therefore we do not anticipate paying any cash dividends in the foreseeable future. They are in such a growth mindset right now that paying a dividend would really take away from their goal in their mission of creating these sustainable vehicles and making the world more sustainable. They're reinvesting everything back into the company, and for that reason, it's just not feasible at this point for them to pay a dividend. Their cash conversion cycle. So the cash conversion cycle, essentially, it shows how quickly you're turning your products into cash. And the formula is essentially cash conversion cycle equals the days in inventory plus the collection period minus the payment period. And their cash conversion cycle is pretty good. So 13.24, they're collecting payments before they actually have to pay their suppliers. Their days in inventory are relatively low. So, I mean, they're very strong in this category. And really, when it comes down to a business, especially a growth business, cash is king. Oops. In conclusion, Tesla is an innovative company. They're led by an innovative leader. Elon Musk is very innovative, almost like a Steve Jobs type figure. Between their electric vehicles, their electric semi-trucks, SpaceX, the Hyperloop, all these rechargeable solutions, and you'll see some of these pictures at the bottom. They're just such a cool company. They have proven over the past few years to be a very solid investment. And then more than anything, they're just an exciting company, like I mentioned, to investors. And even if you're not an investor, even if you just follow them, they're very exciting to follow. So I think that's why they've been so successful. And then here are my sources. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.